Good afternoon, I'm Steve Hensley. Rain continues to fall across the mountains, leading to some flooding concerns, but the heaviest rain should be moving out soon. Meteorologist Evan Hatter has the very latest as our severe weather alert day continues. Evan.
Well, that's right, Steve. Still soggy around some parts of the mountains, but the good news is we will be diminishing those rain chances as we head through the evening hours. Outside at the moment, out front from our studios here at WYMT, yes, the rain is still falling, at least a little bit, as we head through the rest of the hour or so before that rain starts to move on out. Mountain Parkway at Slade, well, we've got some peaks of blue sky trying to work on out there as we head over toward the Kentucky River Valley. And you see on Pinpoint Doppler, we still have some of that rain pushing through. But the good news, we've gotten the rain mostly out of the area under the flash flood warning there for parts of Bell, Knox, and Whitley counties. That goes for about another half hour. We'll see if that's allowed to expire on time. But for the rest of the area, still some light to at times moderate rain pushing through. There's where the heaviest of the rain's been today. Heaviest rain right now, southern parts of Knott County through parts of Letcher County. Everything here pushing off to the east. Watching still, though, a few downpours associated with that cold front out to our west. And you see temperatures remaining cool thanks to the rain. As we head through tonight, upper 60s to near 70. Those showers and storms diminish as we head through the evening. The very latest, though, on when some could return and when the heat kicks up. That's coming up in just a few minutes. Steve?
Evan, thank you. Police were trying to take illegal drugs off the streets when an undercover operation took a dangerous turn. It happened in Laurel County this morning as a traffic stop turned into a hostage situation. Suddenly, a busy gas station just off Interstate 75 turned into a crime scene with a large police presence. WYMT's Phil Pendleton has more on what took place and how it was brought under control.
An investigation into crystal meth had detectives looking for at least a pound of the illegal drug arriving sometime early this morning.
When he showed up, we attempted to traffic stop him and he didn't comply.
This all took place around 7 o'clock at exit 49 off I-75, where police say the driver of this white Buick showed that he was not going to give up easily.
He actually rammed one of our cruisers. Then we had another collision with another cruiser. Once that got settled and the car got stopped, he then brandished a firearm and wouldn't let anybody out of his vehicle, and a barricade hostage situation developed.
Negotiations lasted several hours before the man finally surrendered. No one in the car with him was hurt.
At one point, the gentleman with the gun put it on the dash and they exited the vehicle.
The suspect taken into custody. The drugs were confiscated, but it's still active and ongoing investigation here at the Laurel County Sheriff's Office. Deputies actually took all 3 people in the car to the sheriff's office along with all the evidence taken from it. Firemen had to pry open one of the doors before they could get to the drugs.
This is an ongoing effort by the Sheriff's Department and Sheriff Root's War on Drugs, and this is just another example of our guys doing good work.
Sheriff's deputies had help from Kentucky State Police, the London Police, the East Bernstead Fire Department, and other first responders. In Laurel County, Phil Pendleton, WKYT.
Police have not released the identities of those taken into custody or said what their charges are. The accused gunman in the Buffalo, New York grocery store mass shooting pleaded not guilty in federal court today. 19-year-old Peyton Gendron faces dozens of counts, including federal hate crime and firearms charges. He's accused of killing 10 black people and injuring 3 others at a Tops Friendly Market on May 14th. Prosecutors say he targeted them because of their race. If convicted, he could face the death penalty. Gendron also faces separate state charges. In Ukraine, President Zelensky says he is removing 2 of his top officials. Zelensky said the prosecutor general and the head of the powerful state security service were removed amid an investigation that someone within their department has committed treason. This is what Zelensky said about the case of the state security service chief.
Everyone who together with him was part of a criminal group that worked in the interests of the Russian Federation will also be held accountable. It is about the transfer of secret information to the enemy and other facts of cooperation with the Russian special services.
Zelensky was informed that there are some 651 cases of treason being investigated in different parts of Ukrainian law enforcement and security forces. A 16-year-old from Ukraine who's been desperately trying to come live with his aunt, a U.S. citizen in California, has finally made it stateside. His parents sent him to meet his aunt in Poland. The U.S. Embassy refused to grant the teenager a visa. CBS's Anna Werner has his story.
Look at my baby boy!
This is how Marina Saifi's fight to rescue her 16-year-old nephew finally ended, with a hug. Saifi, a Ukrainian-born U.S. citizen, had been working to bring Ilya Prokhin to live with her in the Bay Area since late February. His parents can't leave Odessa. Saifi's sister is a police officer, and men over 18 aren't allowed to leave. So they put the teenaged Ilya on a train to the Polish border, where Saifi flew to pick him up. That's where she learned a hard truth, as she told CBS Morning's Tony DeCopel.
When we went to the American embassy, they just turned us away.
At the time, the U.S. had no program for Ukrainian refugees fleeing the war.
America, the country of free people, and I'm a free person, cannot bring my only nephew from the war zone. That's the reality. How come?
With no clear way for Ilya to enter the U.S., Marina says the only other option for him seemed to be crossing the Mexican border.
So I felt like, okay, I will try.
So a month later, her husband Bajan returned to Poland, then traveled with Ilya through Spain, Colombia, and finally to Tijuana, Mexico, where Marina met back up with him and begged U.S. border officials for permission to take him home with her. They refused. What was that like?
It was horrible. I was sad, I was worried, and extremely angry. Extremely. I was
Angry
furious.
at
the system. At the system.
Officials then separated them and sent her nephew first to a detention center, then a shelter.
It was like a jail, and that's all. It's a jail, but for kids.
The 16-year-old waited for weeks, not knowing what would come next.
You can just do whatever you want with me because I have no documents. I'm not a human here.
You felt like you're not human. You weren't human.
Yeah, sure. I'm a prisoner.
It's not clear how many other Ukrainian refugees, both adults and minors, are still seeking entry into the U.S. Even though the Biden administration launched a fast-track program in April for those fleeing the war, some other Ukrainian minors have been sent to shelters. Melissa Adamson is an attorney with the National Center for Youth Law.
Separating children from family members can be extremely traumatic. It can have short and long-term effects for their health, for their mental health. It can be extremely traumatizing.
She visited the shelter where Ilya and other Ukrainian minors were held.
And just to paint another picture of the facility for you, it's very small. The facility is surrounded by a metal chain link fence. All of the doors and the windows inside have alarms on them. There's no green outdoor space.
We're gonna make a wish today.
But Ilya is now finally free and safe after his long journey, to the relief of his parents, still in war-torn Odessa.
His dad said, "Marina, I owe you till the end of my life." I started crying. Really, it was tough. You never think that one day he will text things like that, saying how grateful he is for me saving his son's life, and that he will never forget it.
Do you feel like that's what you did? You saved his life?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Anna Werner, CBS News.
While Ilya is safe with his extended family in the Bay Area, there's been criticism about the Biden administration's decision to fast-track Ukrainian refugees while deprioritizing those who wait much longer to cross the southern border. Coming up on Mountain News at 5:30, longtime Fire Chief Lynette Hutchinson retires from the Harlan City Fire Department.
Plus, we have rain chances in the forecast this week, but plenty of dry tide too, pinpointing the most likely time for both. Coming up next.